About 1,000 years after humans left Earth, they all find themselves in the League of Free Worlds. The narrator, Christina, says they are on a planet called Titanium, and it's a place where the system has total control of them. The system gives them home, gives them spouses, and commands them, and anyone, just like her, who isn't ready to obey these commands is taken as a criminal, and they are all sent to exile. Christina is with several other so-called criminals, and they all queue in. The first person who puts his hands on the system machine for examination is Haust van Borg. The system critically analyzes him and checks his body before he is released. The next person is Christina. He talks about how the machine gathers all the information the government needs and sends it to the government to ensure that it can arrest and punish anyone who goes against what the system has recommended. After the examination, they all gather in the hall. Haust is taken to meet the leader, and he is returned. As he gets back, the leader says that they are all harmful criminals. Haust, who is standing beside Christina, repeats the word harmful criminal and tells her they are regarded as harmful. The president tells them that if it's his own opinion, he will kill them all, but the system has allowed a better option. And as their punishment, they will all be sent to exile to an estate, which is about 300 kilometers east. They will meet an oasis and pass between several swamps as their planet is situated amid swamps, and then they will get to a place called the Island of Happiness. After telling them their punishment, all the criminals are taken across the city to the border. The guard takes a particular man, Erwin. It will seem as though they are much more particular about him as they cover his head with a sack, and they tell him to walk about 30-foot steps further. Before he walks the 4th step, he activates a security map, and they release him after they try to kill him. The man leaves all the criminals with a box that contains their necessities, and he claims that if it's his opinion, he won't leave them with anything, but they will do what the system says. He instructs them to find their way out of that border immediately. Just as the guards leave, a young lady, Maria, who is part of the criminals, tries to beg for help. She claims she is a tourist and she needs to go back. Christina thinks about the Island of Happiness. She says that no one has ever visited that island, and she isn't sure if the idea of the Island of Happiness is real or if it's just a myth. Erwin introduces himself. He says they have to be united if they want to survive, and as he addresses the team, Haust comes too. There begin a fight for supremacy between the two. Haust asks everyone to introduce themselves and say their offenses. The first person who introduces himself says he is Valentine, and his offense was acting as espionage in the League of the Free World. Then Job, who is a banker, introduces himself. Suddenly, they feel the ground shaking, and it's one of the swamps. They recognize it as the Tongue of Fire. After the distraction by the Tongue of Fire, Erwin says they should share the things in the box. Everyone struggles to go there and pick something, but Erwin picks a knife, and Christina takes a touchlight, but Erwin takes it from her and returns it. He tells her it is useless. As they struggle, Haust arrives and pushes everyone aside. He says he is the leader of the team and he will share the goods. However, Erwin says he is going alone and he will find the Island of Happiness alone. Christina accepts to leave with him, and they ask Haust to give them their share of the goods. Haust refuses, so Erwin uses the knife he took to threaten one of Haust's friends, so Haust gives them 6 wrapped food, 2 bags, and 2 ropes. Erwin releases his hostage but asks Haust for the box. Haust refuses to give the box to him, telling him it will only be for sale. Erwin thereby offers to buy the box for 3 pieces of food, but Haust asks for the 6 pieces of food they got. While Christina wonders how they will survive, Erwin asks her to release the food. He takes the box and starts preparation. As they prepare, Haust maltreats the people in his group by asking them to do rigorous activities, and Christina sees Maria frustrated from afar. Christina feels pity for Maria and asks Erwin to take Maria along with him, but Erwin refuses. He says he can't take any other person, and she will be the one in front as they leave. She also asks him why he picked her, but he tells her he didn't pick her and, if anything, she was the one who picked him. He says she will stay in front as they walk to find the Island of Happiness, and he will stay behind her because he is the strongest. She asks him if, indeed, an Island of Happiness exists, and he replies affirmatively. He insists that if they are all kept in the desert to die, then there is no reason why the guards will try to kill him. After all, why should you kill someone that will die soon? They proceed on their journey, and he ties the box himself. While Christina walks in front, he walks behind her and drags the box behind him. With the house team, the security starts shooting at them. They all scatter, and one of the females among them comes to meet Erwin. She says she wants to follow Erwin, and when Erwin asks about her boyfriend, she says her boyfriend had offered to stay at a hidden place around the desert with the hopes that there is no Island of Happiness, but she believes there is an Island of Happiness. She tells Erwin that compared to Christina, she is much more efficient and she is strong. Also, she can have ladle-like affairs with him. As they talk, the guns get to their side and they go into hiding. Erwin figures out the girl had just been sent to distract them. He sends her away and he crawls in front of the box with Christina beside him. As they crawl around, Christina comments that Erwin is a calculator. She says that everything around him is calculated and he knows the next thing to do. He stops at a place and crawls towards the rock to see what's happening. Christina shows concerns about the guns, but he tells her there's radiation around that side and they can't shoot them there. He sees the lady's boyfriend and finds out he had offered to stay stupidly as he will be killed. He returns to continue crawling with Christina, but she asks him when they will stop crawling. He tells her he doesn't know, and she comments that that is the first time he expresses that he doesn't know a thing. He asks her to return to the house group, but she refuses. She claims she can't allow House to control her. He replies that she will also have to follow his instruction if she is with him, but she asks why she should follow him. In response, he tells her it's because he knows the swarms more than her. She asks if he has been to the swampy before, but he denies being there. He claims you don't need to be somewhere before you know the place. On the other hand, at the president's office, the president asks if his subordinates have killed Erwin. He says he asked them to slightly push him to harm and shoot him, but they claim they could not do it. On the other hand, in the swamp, Christina goes to get water, and she talks about Erwin. She claims that according to the system, she has made a wrong decision by following Erwin, and she thinks Houst is a better person to lead. Suddenly, Erwin tells her to stand still and shouldn't move. He removes his coat and walks towards her. She wonders what's happening, so she turns back and a crab attacks her. Erwin jumps at the crab, holding its tip with his clothes as the crab tears the other part of his body. He tells Christina to bring a knife and cut the crab. As they finish, he starts laughing. He wraps the crab on his stick and tells Christina they have seen a weapon. As they talk, Houst and his team get to them. Houst reminds them that he had said he doesn't want to see them, and Erwin asks Houst to stop following him. House says he wants to collect the box back, but Erwin refuses to release it, so he calls one of his colleagues, Jamie, to get the box from Erwin, but Erwin brings out the crab weapon and sways it at them. He continues his journey with Christina, who asks him why they aren't bringing along Layla, the lady that came to meet them before. He suddenly tells Christina to stop moving. He asks her to stay silent and holds her mouth by the box while the members of Houst's group walk towards the trap. The tongue of fire comes out, and Houst asks his people to stay silent, but one of them runs away, so the tongue carries him. After the tongue returns, Christina asks Erwin why he didn't tell the others of the harm, but he says he isn't the game. They sit to rest, and she asks him if everything they are passing through is calculated. He tells her everything is calculated and he is a mathematician. He claims that even if he didn't finish his education, his father taught him all he needed. She asks for his profession before the prison, and he insists that she has to answer a riddle before he tells her. He walks away after telling her the riddle, and some swamp comes towards her. She runs to him, and when he notices her, he runs towards the swamp back and gets to their box. They stay together in the box until the swamp passes over. On the other hand, House tells his team to rest, but Layla refuses. She claims they should keep following Erwin, as Erwin is the president's ex-chancellor, so he knows everything about the swamp. When House refuses, she runs away and he chases her. He falls into a trap, and they all refuse to bring him out until Job offers to help him. Christina and Erwin stop to cook and eat one of the monsters. He eventually tells her he is the counselor to the president, and when he is imprisoned, he takes away something that without it, the system won't hold. He says he took away himself and the code from the system. Without that code, everyone can live with free will and do whatever they want. On the other hand, at the office, the president asks Matthias, his subordinate, to ensure they find Erwin. He claims they need the code as they have been trying to unlock the system to no avail. Eventually, the military head releases a weapon that can be shot in the swampy, and Matthias leaves to find Erwin. Maria is eventually taken, and her scream angers Christina, who wonders about the godforsaken person that promulgated exile as a punishment. Erwin, however, tells her he suggested the punishment to the president. She gets angry at him and tells him that when she was in prison, they told her to kill him in exchange for her freedom, but she refuses. Houst eventually catches up with Layla. He attempts to kill her, but she explains that if she gets to kill Erwin, she will be released. She shows him the compass on her legs, and when he is distracted, she tries to escape but falls into fungus, which kills her. Houst decides to exchange Erwin for his freedom. He kidnaps Erwin and takes him to the refuge of the Churang, where he drops him off to find Matthias. Upon returning with Matthias, Erwin escaped. As a result, Matthias kills Houst and sees Katrina with another man hiding in the refuge. He kills the man and uses Katrina to threaten Erwin to come out. In Erwin's hiding place, he sees Job carrying a gun which he found after a swamp killed an officer. He asks Job to save Katrina, so he exchanges himself for Katrina. Before Katrina gets to him, House struggles and kills Matthias. He appreciates House, who dies peacefully after using a pill. Matthias has sedated Katrina, so he carries her away. In the city, the systems begin to shut down, and it seems like Erwin's code is working, as they can no longer control the system. They send another lady to find Erwin again. Later, Erwin and Job see a bamboo leaf floating on water with swamp. They climb on it to take them to the other side, and Katrina wakes too. As he speaks with Katrina, they don't notice that the leaf isn't enough for 3 people, so Job falls. They try to drag him back to the leaf, but he refuses, claiming it's his island of happiness. He eventually dies. The soldier sent to kill Erwin arrives when she tries to control her plane, but it fails, signifying that Erwin's code worked. The plane falls into the water, and Erwin jubilates with Katrina. After a waterfall, they get to a hidden island. Erwin says the island contains a special emergency ship for the president, and he has been there with the president before. However, the president pressed the last digit to open the compartment, and he didn't know it. Also, he can't try more than twice. Katrina asks him what's the last thing the president talked about before opening the compartment, and he tells her he gave him a chocolate that had 9 pieces. She tells him the last digit is 9. When he goes to press, he presses 8 first, and the system rejects it. He tells Erwin he only wants to know how the system works, and he later presses 9, which is correct. Upon entering the compartment, he tells Katrina the plane can only contain 1 person, and he will find another solution for himself, so she should go. She refuses, and they squeeze themselves into the plane and escape from Titianium. Their escape calls the leader of the free world to know about the system at Titianium, and they go there to destroy it. In about 10 years, the system at Titianium has changed. A new system has been established, and it's much harder than the previous one. Thanks for watching a recap. Kindly subscribe to my channel to get notified when we post the next recap. See you next time.